And I was like, is there something she's not telling me? Like,
are you being serious?
100% genuine.
Okay, it's nothing deep.
I just noticed that. You can read body language. Like, that wasn't like it was like not just like a kiss. It was a very passionate kiss.
Okay.
It was almost.
Am I the only one who can see right through Taylor? Taylor is someone who likes to gaslight and manipulate people, and I think this is why he was getting along with M. And the moment she showed that she wasn't up to his stupid games, he then decided to be nasty and messy. That wasn't necessary. And Niko, I really hope he plays his cards right, because he's been given a second chance. He needs to take it and run with it and leave everything else. And the girls are messy for trying to mess it up for him. And also, I'm here for Dylan. Payback. Yay! Finally, he got to do what was done to him during a game. Anyway, hey there. Thanks for stopping by. It's your girl Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. Click the like button, share, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love Island Australia, Season 6, Episode 16. Bella is really becoming cutthroat, isn't it? Because you have Niko having a conversation with Taylor, and it's like, why are you speaking to the enemy? Why are you telling the enemy your plans? And why are you listening to advice from the enemy? Because at the end of the day, Taylor enjoys the girls chasing after him. There's no two ways about it. He loves the attention he's getting from all three girls, but he wants to pretend to be the victim, that all these girls like me, I'm not encouraging them, I'm not forcing them, they're just coming for me, poor me, what should I do, what should I do? And so for him to try and give advice to Niko about Niko and Chrissy doesn't make sense to me. He's encouraging Niko to go after Chrissy, and yet at the same time he was complaining bitterly that Niko is pretending to be interested in Chrissy and is moving mad. So which is it? Is Niko moving mad, or are you just trying to get the competition out of the way so that you can get your, so that you can get Hannah? Which is it? Anyway, and Niko then moves. He goes to sit down with Zayn. They just sunbathing. They can't believe their life. They can't believe that they've gone from construction to suddenly sitting by the poolside and drinking, coffee, and they can't really understand that. And so Niko then gets a message to say, Yasu Niko, today's your lucky day. A beautiful Greek boy deserves a beautiful Greek girl. Get ready for the best date of your life. Love, Mia. And it's hashtag the one you've been waiting for. And it's like the producers are messy. They know this is going to rub, Hannah the wrong way. So everybody's excited for Niko, because Niko's really been having a hard time. This came out of left field. He didn't expect his partner to just wake up one morning and just say, okay, fine, I'm jumping ship. And so you have the boys happy for him, standing by him as he's taking a shower, getting ready. And now you have poor Chrissy panicking. She's panicking because she's worried that he's going to like the Greek girl more than he likes her. Because according to her, Greeks always like, their own. So she's worried that, oh my God, he's going to like her. What's going to happen now? And so you then have the girls by the pool, Sophie, Mimi, and and they're sort of wondering what's going to happen with Hannah, because when everybody was celebrating Niko, Hannah just sat down and just watched. She didn't make any comments. She didn't move from where she was sitting. And so they're wondering, is Hannah going to be making more of an effort with Taylor now that, Niko's going on a date? And they're also wondering what's going to be happening with Chrissy. Is Chrissy going to be going back to Taylor because Niko is going on a date? And it's like, this is a mess. This is a hot mess. This is a way to sort of stir it up. And Niko is happy because this is a 180. He was very sad the day before. Now he's excited. He's getting ready for his date. The interesting thing was Chrissy came to say goodbye to him and wish him well on his date. And it's like, oh my God, the last, I wouldn't have been surprised if she had hugged and kissed him just to remind him of what he's living back in the villa, because you can see that she's threatened. I didn't realize she liked Niko like that. Or is she just looking for someone who's single, who she can couple up with? I can't quite make sense of it. Does she really like Niko, or is she doing it because she knows Niko is single and he's not going back to Hannah, or he said he's not going back to Hannah, so she thinks he's the one she can latch on to? I'm a bit confused, and I want clarity on that. Anyway, Niko goes on a date. And the producers went all out because they gave him a spread by the seaside. They had a musician playing a guitar. And it's like, oh my God, this is going to be messy. What do we think about Mia? I think Mia looks older than she is. She says she's 23 years old. And it's like, she looks way older. I don't know whether it's the makeup or what. I can't wait to see her chat, to see how good she is at her chat, because she she seems pretty, and there's no denying that Niko might like her because of her look. But then it's going to be a matter of, is she emotionally intelligent and is she able to articulate herself? Because Niko comes across as a very mature guy, so it would be nice for him to sort of match himself up with someone who's mature as well. Really trying to be composed. I really am. Anyway, I loved Niko's date. He seemed to really get along with Mia, and the conversation. I like the fact that, it wasn't, oh, you look cute, I like you this, I like you that. Yeah, they did ask each other, am I your type? What do you like about me? Why did you choose me? And it sort of made sense when she said, he's someone she would check out twice. So it makes sense that she would have asked him on a date. Well, I like them together, but I don't know whether I like him with her more than I like him with Chrissy, because Niko sadly hasn't been the luckiest of people in the villa. I think even from day one, if I'm not mistaken, he struggled to sort of find a girl that would pick him. So I'm a bit worried. I really am, because I think him coupling up with Hannah was because Hannah couldn't get Zayn, if I remember very well, on day one. So I don't know whether he'll have good enough chat to keep this new girl entertained or what will happen there. Back at the villa, you have Zayn. He's now flirting with Chrissy because obviously I think Zayn likes girls to be chasing him, and the more they chase him, the more happier he is. Because he's sort of talking to her, he then helps her into the pool, lifts her like he's lifting a little baby, and it's like, this is inappropriate. If you know that you've been encouraging Niko to get to know her, why are you chasing her? If you know that you've asked somebody else to chase her, are you chasing her because you like her, or are you chasing her just to as a hobby or as entertainment for yourself? Make it make sense. You then have Chrissy suddenly chatting with Steph, and Steph is saying in his confessional that he feels like Chrissy is interested in him, and she keeps looking at him every time he turns his head. He sees her looking at him, and it's like Steph is bored. He's bored of Mimi. He wants to move on. And if he moves on, where does Mimi go? Is Mimi going to go and chase after Dylan or what? Make it make sense? I don't get it. I don't understand how this came to be, because it doesn't make sense to me. Or maybe it's just me, but it doesn't make sense. How did Steph go from being all about Mimi to suddenly thinking of Chrissy? Because you even have Chrissy sort of explaining to Kayla that this place is messy. And she said, why? She said, well, the thing is, Steph has just been rubbing my tummy with his leg. I don't know what games he's playing at and what is going on. And it's like, well, maybe he's decided to make moves. Maybe he's decided to show everybody who he really is. And so if he makes moves, I don't know what's going to happen to Mimi. I am worried for Mimi. Steph is a dog. I didn't expect him to be having that conversation with Chrissy. Even Chrissy is taken aback, because they go on the terrace, they have a conversation, and then they end up back downstairs. I don't know whether it was too hot outside for them. And they're sort of sussing each other out. And Chris is saying, I thought you were in one of the strongest couples, so this is why I didn't make any moves. And he's saying, well, I told you I was open to getting to know people, so I'm still open to getting to know you because I see you checking me out. And, she's saying, but you are always checking me out as well. And it's like, so the two of you have been checking each other out. What's happening? Have the producers told Steph that you can't stay with one person, you need to make moves, or what? I don't get it. Anyway, we get, Niko on his date. He's coming to the end of his date. He's sort of discussing his daily routine and what he likes to do. And it's like, are they not allowed to talk about anything else? Are they only allowed to talk about how beautiful you are? You go to the gym, I go to the gym, we exercise, you exercise. Because it seems that's all they were talking about, nothing else. So I don't quite get it. Anyway, he brings her to the villa and everybody's checking her out. And I'm like, Dylan, sit down. You don't need this beef, because you can actually see him checking her out as well. So everyone is excited to see the new girl. She sits with the girls, and then the boys sit with Niko, and they're having a conversation. And she's sort of saying, on paper, Niko is her type. I like the fact that she's got cojones, because she turned her back to Hannah and so wasn't entertaining anything Hannah was saying. She was discussing what she does. She's a model. She owns, a clothes rental boutique and that sort of stuff. And you could see that the girls were very impressed, because they were saying, wow, that's amazing. And she said, all you girls are welcome to borrow my clothes if you want, but this is me, this is what I do. Niko is telling the guys that, oh my God, as soon as I saw her, I knew she was the one. And it's like, Niko is at love already. Niko is at love. Everybody else is still wondering what's going on. Niko is already fallen in love and is ready to get married and have children with this girl. And so it's sad because now you have Chrissy panicking. I think Niko telling the guys that he really was interested in her was good, because then he's sort of putting a stamp and letting everybody else know that to take a step back, because knowing Taylor, he's going to try and make moves and try and get her interested, because the more the merrier for him, it seems. So you then have Mia come and have a conversation with the boys while Chris is venting to Hannah and Kayla. And then my girl Sophie comes in. I said, oh my God, CNN is here. Everybody keep quiet. CNN is here. So you have Chrissy venting to the girls. She's venting to Sophie, Hannah, and Kayla because she doesn't understand why Niko hasn't yet pulled her for a chat. And out of the blue, the tag starts again. They did the same thing to Dylan. Now it's the same thing to Niko, but they haven't labeled Taylor for some reason. Anyway, Hannah's complaining that, oh, this is what Niko does. You know, he pretends to be a good guy, but he's been jumping from girl to girl to girl. And it's like, no, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. You dumped him. He wasn't looking at anybody else. He told everybody else he was closed off by you, and you dumped him. So he has to make moves in order to stay in the villa unless he's ready to go home. You have, Mia go and have a conversation with the guys, and she lets the guys know that she really had an amazing date with Niko, and he's her type on paper, so she doesn't see herself sort of wanting to get to know anyone at this point in time. Niko is busy telling Mimi that, oh my God, as soon as she woke up, she was the girl of my dreams, the dream date. I loved everything about it, and I don't see myself wanting to get to know anybody else. And it's like, no, you don't need to say that. Maybe keep quiet for a bit. Maybe chat to her for a bit. So he sits down with the rest of the girls, and the girls are sort of asking him about his date, and he sort of explains the date, the scenery and what it looked like. And he says, she really is amazing. She's my type to a T. I don't even see myself wanting to get to know anyone else. And it's like, oh, this is bad. Because he had told Chrissy that there's nothing for you to worry about. So for him to come back from his date and say to somebody else that, I'm closed off, I don't need to get to know anyone, is a bit tricky, in the sense that what if their second date is not like that? What if she suddenly sees somebody else that she likes and Mia decides to make moves? What will happen to him? Because he's already shut things down for Chrissy. And Chrissy, there's something about her that keeps making the guy sort of shut down. The same thing happened with Dylan. He was excited about her one minute, then the next minute he ran back to Sophie, and he's been with Sophie since. So I can't wait to see exactly what happens, because now the girls are feeling some type of way, and Hannah is not helping the situation by encouraging this label that, he's an F-boy or he's a love bomb, and now they're calling him because they're saying he's moving from girl to girl to girl, and he falls hard. And it's like, nah. He was being kind by holding Chris's hand as they were going up the stairs. That didn't mean that he was love bombing her. I didn't see that, but hey, I don't quite understand what love bombing is. Okay, what do we say? If it quacks like a duck, walks like a duck, looks like a duck, it's a duck. I'm going to say it. Hannah is the mean girl, Captain Mean Girl of the villa. Because whoever she's aligned to, she is always going to show her meanness. And she tried to be iffy with Mia, and Mia didn't pay her attention. So instead, what she did is, when they were in the changing room and getting ready, she started, this thing of, oh, are you not going to, the girl started, are you not going to ask us for an update on what's been going on and who's with whom? And then you could tell this was a way of opening the door so that they could be messy. Because then the conversation started, yesterday, Hannah was with Niko, she broke up with Niko, and then Niko started pursuing Chrissy and told Chrissy that she was his girl, and that if he had to recouple, he would pick her. And so it's surprising that he's come back and is now saying that you're it for him. And it's like, why are you doing this? Why are you trying to close the door for him? Why are you trying to be messy? Why are you trying to sort of throw him under the bus so that he has no one? You don't want him. Allow him to find his person. You want Taylor, you've gone for Taylor. He hasn't messed that up for you. So the audacity for you to come and sort of be messy and be making these comments is not necessary. Anyway, they go down for their drinks, and you have Mia do the toast. After the toast, she pulls Niko for a chat and sort of tells him what's been going on or what she's heard. And I like the fact that he owned up to say, yes, I was getting to know her. Yes, I was having conversations with her. We were getting along. And I did tell her that I would choose a coupling, because who else was he going to choose at that point in time? Hannah had thrown him under the bus, so he had to go for somebody else. So I get where he's coming from. And me, I think, could see through the BS that this is crap. These girls are trying to play with me. They're trying to make sure that I leave him. If I leave him, then Chrissy can get her way. And it's not because Hannah is being kind. Hannah wants to minimize the competition when it comes to Taylor. So she's going to say and do anything to turn all the girls away. Because if she can turn, Chrissy off Taylor, then that's one person down. If M can go away, that's another person down. Then she has Taylor to herself. So it's not her being kind and sort of trying to help someone. It's just her being spiteful and mean and trying to make sure that she gets what she wants. And it makes me question, because she says she's training to be a nurse, and I would hate her to be my nurse, because if she can't be like this on national TV, imagine what she'll be like in private, on a ward or on whatever. I don't know her. I don't want to make assumptions, but she's very questionable in the way she behaves and the way she talks to people. I don't like that. You're supposed to be caring, empathetic, compassionate, and she doesn't show either one of those. Yeah, she does when it's someone she's close to, but for everybody else, she's just a mean girl. You can see the desperation coming out of Chrissy, because she's pulling everyone for chats. She sits down to have a conversation with Mercedes, and Mercedes is saying, he is not really bothered. He's not going to run around chasing every single person, but he's open to getting to know her. They have a very good conversation, and she says, he's her type. And it's like, make it make sense. You've just been having conversations with Steph. Now you're having conversations with Mercedes. Is it anyone or everyone that you're going to chat with? Why is it everyone you chat with is not sticking? Make that make sense, because all the guys she's been talking to, they like her on first chat, but then something happens and then they just swerve her and go on to the next person. So I don't quite get it, and it doesn't quite make sense to me, so I can't understand why she keeps doing this. Anyway, Hannah receives a message to say, Islanders duck for cover, because tonight's game is a quacker and it's hook up or hook off. And it's like, this is about to be messy. The producers are not getting enough drama, so they're going to try and, stir the pot and make sure that there is a lot of drama. So what happens is they have the plastic ducks in a sort of a little bowl, and people have to sort of hook a duck at a time. And then when you hook the duck, it's got a question on it. And so the Islanders were standing up individually and sort of picking it up and then doing whatever the card said. First up was Chrissy. She was asked to order a favorite pizza while having an orgasm. And yeah, she did her. You could tell she was embarrassed, but hey, it is what it is. Hannah was asked Tam War closest size Islander, and the winner gets to kiss who they want. Mimi won, and according to Hannah, she made Mimi win because she didn't want to be the winner of that and have to choose. So Mimi chose to kiss M, and it's like, Mimi is being messy. Mimi knows she's not a part of the drama, so she's going to go looking for the drama. Next up was Dylan and Payback. Oh my god, I loved this, because it says make two Islanders who are not in a couple kiss each other. And he, instead of picking on Zayn, I would have loved for him to pick Zayn and the new girl to see what happened there. But anyway, he decided to pick Taylor and Hannah, and that was messy. But Hannah had already campaigned saying she can't wait to kiss Taylor, so she was excited. Niko's was kiss an Islander who you think is most genuine, and then pat the head of the Islander you think is least genuine. So he kissed Mia because he said she's most genuine, and he patted Hannah's head because she's least genuine because of the way she swerved him. I totally agree with him on that. I totally agree. And then next up was Taylor. He was asked to choose two other Islanders to have a three-way kiss. He was messy because he picked M and Hannah and decided to kiss the two of them. And it's like, why? You have Zayn there raising his hand and saying, I'm here. Why would you do that? Next up was Mercedes. Mercedes was kiss the hottest brunette. He went for Chrissy. I was actually shocked. I thought he was going to pick up M, but I think he didn't want that mess, so he decided to go for someone he knew was single. That's the impression that I got. Hannah's was a whole pass. Kiss an Islander that isn't your partner. Everybody knew she was going to kiss Taylor, and she did. And she said she enjoyed herself because this was the third time. So then was Niko. Niko was asked which three Islanders would make your best partner for best face, best body, and best personality. He chose best face Hannah. I didn't get that. I didn't get that. If you're saying on paper Mia is your type, I would have expected him to pick Mia, but then he picked Mia, and then body he picked Kayla, and then personality he picked Mia. It still didn't make sense to me. I don't quite understand this combination of how he got to that. Next up was she was asked, kiss the islander who you'd like to couple up with if your current partner's not in the villa. She decided to kiss Mercedes. Everybody was excited. Mercedes himself was excited. She, I think, was excited because she became a bit giddy towards the end and ran to sit down and just like make it make sense. Mimi was asked, kiss the cheek of the islander you think is most toxic, and it's about to go down. Mimi is messy because in choosing to kiss Hannah and Taylor, she's just created such a toxic environment in the villa, and she's agitated someone who she didn't need to agitate, because you can see that Taylor's upset. He's fuming, he's furious, and in his confessional he says, I don't understand why she chose me. I'm the least toxic person in the villa, so I don't get why she chose me. And it's like, you are toxic though. The way you've been running around the girls, you are toxic, and the way you've been speaking and trying to control them, you are toxic. So that's a given. And Hannah, the way she's been speaking to the other girls, I get why she's been chosen as toxic as well. You then have Hannah sit down for a conversation with Kayla, and she's venting. I think she's realized that telling Sophie her business might as well be putting it on Front Street for everybody else to know. So she has decided to confide in Kayla. She's complaining to Kayla that I don't get Taylor because he's saying he likes me. He wants to explore a connection. But when I go to kiss him, he starts laughing. Why is he laughing? Why is he making a fool out of me? I need to have a conversation with him because I thought he was mature and he's not behaving as a mature adult. So we need to talk. And Kayla's sort of agreeing with it that it was messy. They don't know whether it's because he didn't want M to see sort of that he was enjoying the kiss or what. And it's like, I think with Taylor, he's trying to be a good guy. He's trying not to be blamed for stuff, but he's messy. He promised Niko that he wouldn't go after Hannah, but he has kissed Hannah passionately in front of Niko. He's continued to have conversations with Hannah in front of Niko. So I guess this is why he was called out for being toxic. Anyway, you have M and Taylor sit down for a conversation, and Taylor, not to label him, I don't know him, but he's a gaslighter and he's a manipulator because he's managed to try and blame everything on everybody else by himself, because he was complaining to M that, oh, why did Mimi say I'm toxic? I'm the least toxic person here. I don't understand why she said that. It wasn't called for. It was very messy and I was very upset and I was furious. And it's like, nah, this is who you are. You've been shown who you are and you have to accept it. And then from there, he starts to talk about the kiss between Mercedes and M. Oh, that kiss was very passionate. Is there something I'm missing out? Is there something I'm not knowing? And it's like, why are you doing that? You were kissing Hannah. And M even asked him that, you did the same thing. So what's wrong with it? And I think she could see that this was going to become a very toxic relationship and she didn't want to be a part of the mess. And this is why she broke up with him. And I give her credit for breaking up with him because he's not going to be able to get anyone that he can manipulate, because Chrissy is she's a firecracker on her own, and if you add Hannah, he's not going to be able to get away with whatever he wants to do. I think he likes girls that he can manipulate. I think he likes girls that he can control, because he kept wanting to tell sort of M how to feel, how to react, how to behave, and M could recognize it, so she pulled herself away from that before it was too late. And so it's going to be interesting to see how he gets to the other two girls and how those girls are going to respond to him trying to play the same games he was playing on them. Taylor's a man-child. He's a man-child, seriously. Because he kept trying to hold on to M, and M had to say to him, if we've broken up, there's no need for you to have your arms around me. So he gave her a fist bump, and then M was going to go and have a conversation with Mercedes, but then she decided to let Mimi know what was happening with her. And while she was talking to Mimi, you have Taylor run to the guys and sort of say to Mercedes in front of everyone, oh, I'm a single guy now, so if you want, you can go ahead and have M. And it's like, don't pretend to be generous, don't pretend to be kind. And you could tell that the boys could see through the BS, because if you look at Dylan, Steph, and even Mercedes' face, they could see that he was trying to play games. He was trying to be messy, and they didn't respond. They just stood there and just looked at him. Even Zayn was taken aback because they couldn't understand what was being said or why he was saying it. And CNN was there. Sophie was there. So as soon as Sophie heard it, she ran to sort of where Mimi and M were, and they were discussing, that we've broken up. M was just telling them that, you know, this is not it. And so then you had Sophie say, you know, and then you had Sophie say, oh, maybe I need to go back, because the girls couldn't understand why Taylor was sort of speaking to Mercedes in front of everyone. So CNN volunteered to go back and get the latest news. And it's like, I love Sophie. Sophie is messy. I love her messy behind. So Taylor kept going on, and it was uncomfortable because all the guys were uncomfortable because they couldn't understand why he felt the need to give permission. It's not like he got permission from Niko to sort of pursue anything with Hannah. You then had, you know, sort of sit down with Mimi and just tell her that I'm at peace. I don't think this is it for me, and I'm happy that we're calling it quits because this was unhealthy and I wasn't happy. And I had conversations with Mercedes which I felt were actually going way better than the conversations that I'm having with Taylor. And then Mercedes rocked up, and so he had a conversation. I think they make a cute couple. I don't know long term whether that will last or whether it's just a holiday romance, but they seem more aligned on what they want from life as compared to her and Taylor. And Mercedes, for someone who apparently has been on Love Island Games and F-Boy Island, he seems to be way better at sort of, you know, interacting with someone and sort of having a mature conversation. So he sort of told her that, you know, I really like you. You're the person I think I align with a lot out of everybody here. So I would be open to continuing to get to know you, not because I've been given the go-ahead, but because this is how I feel. And so for Taylor to go by the fire pit with Mimi and have his ego, you know, sort of boosted because he was upset that he had been told he was toxic. I'm not toxic. It's just, you know, the situation, that's how it is. And Mimi had to agree, I didn't mean you were toxic as a person. He is toxic. That's it. That's the long and short of it. He is toxic. There's no arguing about it. There's no debating it. So we need to keep it moving. You then have Mercedes and M kiss in front of everyone. And it's like M is making a statement that we're done. I'm moving on. This person needs to leave me alone. So I can't wait to see what happens in the next episode. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 15. Bye guys.